What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Chin here again today from Nothing But Facts. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. I hope you guys have been watching the series we've been putting along. We are predicting, we are previewing, whatever you want to call it. We are talking about all of the AP top 25 teams, and we are doing a season prediction on all of those teams. We have done Texas, Alabama, LSU, Texas Tech, Indiana, Notre Dame, Oregon. The list goes on. And now today, we are doing the Tennessee Volunteers, a team. They got some questions that need to be answered, but this is a really good defense, some fresh faces. Let's jump into their schedule. If you don't know the process here, we're going to jump into their schedule, talk about some of the key players, and we'll move on from there. Let's jump right into this schedule. Starting off first game of the season, you have Furman at home. I like them. I like Tennessee in that game. Give me Tennessee. Then you are on the road against Georgia Tech. Okay, Brent Key has done an outstanding job at Georgia Tech. How they've, handled things in the transfer portal, how they've developed their players. That is going to be a very physical game. Brent Key and his guys, one thing about them that I've come to appreciate over the last couple of years, they're a physical group. They're a tough group. They're not afraid of the SEC. We saw last year's game against Georgia, how that game piled up for Georgia Tech. They were right in it. However, I still think Tennessee can find a way to win this game. I think Tennessee can go 2-0. That game is very, very questionable. You know what? I'm going to flip. I like Georgia Tech. I'll take Georgia Tech in that game. On the road, I'll take Georgia Tech. We're looking at 1-1. You get Kennesaw State. You're looking at 2-1. Then you have Texas at home. We've been talking about this Texas team, this team that Steve Sarkisian has been building toward. He's been building for. This is the season. You have your quarterback in Arch Manning. You have your running backs in Raleek Brown and Hollywood Smothers. You have your receivers on the outside in Cam Coleman and Ryan Wingo. The list goes on. And that offensive line, of course, when Trevor Goolsby gets back, we've heard about his injury. When he gets back, that should be part of, if not one of the best offensive lines in the country. You get this game at home. This game, I think, for Tennessee versus Texas is going to be a lot closer than what people think. That Tennessee defense, I think there's some fresh faces that could come in and make immediate impact and get this Texas game a lot closer than what it is. But I think Texas just has a lot more talent than Tennessee this year. I'll take Tennessee. I'll take Texas to win this game. We're looking at 2-2. Then you have Auburn, new first-year head coach, Alex Golish, coming in from South Florida. He has first-year starting quarterback at Auburn, Byron Brown. He comes over from South Florida, one of the most electric, dynamic quarterbacks we have in college football. I expect Auburn to win that game in a very physical matchup. I think, again, this Tennessee team, there's a lot of questions for me, but this defense is really good. But the quarterback question is one that I think needs answers to. I like Auburn in this game. I think Alex Golish could find Tennessee sleeping on the road. We are looking now at 2-3. I know everyone's gonna oh my God, that's crazy. Then you get Arkansas on the road. First year head coach Ryan Silverfield. You get Ryan Silverfield and Arkansas on the road. I see them winning that game. We're talking about now they are at 500. Then we have Alabama. The third Saturday in October. We know the rivalry game. If you haven't paid attention, that both of these teams are not going to be wearing their home jerseys for this matchup. And we still don't know the questions about the quarterback position at Alabama. Just being objectively speaking, that quarterback room at Alabama is better than what they have at Tennessee. Objectively speaking, I think Alabama wins that game. You're talking about 3-4. And then you have South Carolina, Kentucky, A&M, LSU, and Vanderbilt. I think they beat South Carolina, Shane Beamer. But we always have to remember, South Carolina peaks at the right time in October. Like they always do this. They always peak at the right time. Last year they didn't win any games in October. But I think that if South Carolina is peaking, you got Lenore Sellers, you got playmakers all around them. Guys like Nick Harbor, you go on the road in Columbia, South Carolina. That's a tough atmosphere. That's a tough atmosphere. We saw Alabama struggle there last year. We saw how that game ended, the last play of the game. Don't be surprised if South Carolina comes out winning this game. Don't be surprised at all. But in my opinion, I think this Tennessee team has enough in the tank. I think they could go on the road and beat this South Carolina team. Again, this Tennessee team is really good on defense. We're going to break their defense down. I think they can beat South Carolina. We're talking about 4-4. Then we have Kentucky. I think they beat Kentucky. Now we're at 5-4. Kentucky has first-year head coach Will Stein. So still some moving pieces over there. But that offensive line for Kentucky, I think that might be one of the better offensive lines in the SEC just off of Will Stein. We'll see what happens. Then you have Texas A&M on the road in College Station. Going to be a hostile environment. Going to be tough. I think A&M beats them at home, and we're looking at 5-5. And then you have 2 games against LSU and Vanderbilt. Now, this LSU game, I think, is one of those games where I know I broke the schedule down. 7-5 sounds, but 5-5. Oh my God, I broke it down. 5-5 sounds crazy. But when we look at the landscape of the SEC, when we look at the landscape of just the overall teams that we know from the SEC are, I don't want to say guaranteed to get into the playoffs. This is a tough schedule. It's a tough schedule. You get LSU at the end of the season, last game at home. I think that's pretty much your senior day. Don't be surprised if Tennessee is fighting in that football game, they're trying to become bowl eligible. They're at 5-5 right now. I think Tennessee at home in November, I think they get an inspired win. They get their win, and I think they are 6-5. Then going on the road against Vanderbilt, in-state rivalry, you win that game, and you win your last 2 games of the season with the record of 7-5. I know people are going to look at me crazy. I just look at the way this schedule sets up. Georgia Tech, Texas, Bama, A&M, LSU, Auburn. Like those are teams right now. Vanderbilt, Lord have mercy. Those are teams right now. And I'm not disparaging anything from the talent that's on this Tennessee roster, but that's a gauntlet. That's a gauntlet. Let's talk about this roster. This is a good roster. This is a good roster that Josh Heupel has up there in Knoxville. I like this roster. I think fall camp for them, it really hurt them because they lost their starting safety in Idris Farouk. He was a big-time player for this defense for them last year, a big-time player, a PTP, a prime-time player, and he's out for the whole season for a lower leg injury that was suffered in the scrimmage. They also have guys like Arian Carter, inside linebacker. I think this guy's one of the better linebackers in the SEC. He's going to be suspended the first 2 games of the season for an NCAA violation for taking a private jet, whatever the case may be. NCAA they just like making up rules whenever they want to. But he's going to be a starting linebacker in this defense for Tennessee. In an oddly enough fashion, this might be one of the only years I could remember that I don't have question marks on Tennessee's defense. Like I can remember when they had Joe Milton, Hendon Hooker, Nico Iamaleava. Like there were question marks on defense. I don't see question marks here on this defense. You have guys inside like David Hobbs, big body, 6'4", 290, 3 sacks last year, a forced fumble, 30 tackles. There's a big body in that defense that you're going to like, that you want to see move. Quay Moss, safety. This guy was just phenomenal for them. 41 tackles, 2 interceptions, a forced fumble, a pass deflection. Like this is a really good secondary. And I think this is the most slept on corner in the SEC is Ty Redmond. 6'3", 200 pounds. Milton High School, they produce dudes. I think Caleb Downs went to Milton. Or is it? No, I don't think he went to Milton. No, Caleb Downs didn't go to Milton. Don't quote me on that. But this dude is a dog. 43 tackles, 3 interceptions, 12 pass deflections. Like, if you're a Tennessee fan, this defense is really good. Like, this is a really good secondary. I know the loss of Farouk is big. It is big, but you have guys like Ty Redmond there. you got guys in the back. You got guys there like Ty Redmond. I think this is good. This is a really good secondary. This is a really deep unit. And on the offensive side, there's some questions. There's some questions because there's not a proven guy yet in this locker room. Okay. Faizon Brandon is a 5-star. This guy came in from Grimsley High School in North Carolina. Nothing. He hasn't played. George MacIntyre, I mean, he completed 9 passes last year. And then they also have Ryan Stubb. He's coming in from Colorado. Not much you're working with in that quarterback room. And that's why I have a lot of questions for Tennessee. You need to have a quarterback to win in the SEC. It's no question. You look at Texas, they have Arch Manning. You look at Alabama, they could go either way with Austin Mack or Keelan Russell. You look at Ole Miss, they have Trinidad Chambliss. You look at Georgia, they have Gunnar Stockton. You look at Auburn, they have Byron Brown. Okay, the quarterback position is going to be a major, major reason into whether or not any of what I'm saying is true. I haven't seen Faizon Brandon play. Very limited sample size on George MacIntyre too as well. So this is I don't want to say this. This is sort of like uncharted territory for Josh Heupel. Okay, we got to remember, Joe Milton was a transfer. Hendon Hooker was a transfer. Nico Iamaleava was a 5-star, and he kind of sort of like, he redshirted and he played behind Joe Milton. He played in some games. So, Josh Heupel sort of knew what he was working with. Very limited sample size on these guys. And again, that's why I just am very, very conflicted with this schedule that you have. You need the quarterback position is imperative. But in any case, they have one of the best running backs in the country. They have one of the best running backs in the country in Deshaun Bishop. This guy's a dog. He can run the rock. He's a physical runner. He will lower the pads. Like Deshaun Bishop is him. He can do a good job of running the ball. And they also have a backup in Javen Gordon coming in over from Tulane. So you talk about Deshaun Bishop, then you have a guy like Javen Gordon. That's a 1-2 punch right there. If you're either Faizon Brandon or George MacIntyre, you got options in the backfield. Okay, a lot of this is going to have to do with Josh Heupel. Simply put. He has not underachieved at Tennessee. I know people think there is still a lot left on the table. He hasn't underachieved. He won an Orange Bowl recently, made it to the playoffs. Like Josh Heupel is doing everything he can to make Tennessee the national brand, and he's doing a good job. He is. I have to applaud him. In what the job he's done at Tennessee has been really good. I don't want to say phenomenal. He's done a really good job at Tennessee. And he has coordinators. Joey Hazel has been the quarterback's coach and the offensive coordinator now, I think, for like 3-4 years. He's done a really good job with this group. You reel off the quarterbacks. He's done a great job with them. And now he has another task, whether it's, Faizon Brandon, whether it's George MacIntyre, whether it's Ryan Staub, whoever it is in that quarterback room, whoever's going to be the number 10, right, the playmaker for this team, they're going to have a really good offensive coordinator. But again, like I said, this defense is going to be really interesting. Okay. Jim Knowles is one of the defensive masterminds that we have in our sport. Last year wasn't the best for him at Penn State, obviously, how their season ended. But we have to go back to when he was an assistant with Mike Gundy at Oklahoma State. That's when we started hearing the Jim Knowles talk, was when he was at Oklahoma State and they were putting dudes in a blender on defense. And he ended up going to Ohio State, won a national championship, went to Penn State, whatever the case may be. Now he is in the SEC leading this Tennessee defense. So, again, like I said before, this might be one of the only years that I'm certain the Tennessee defense is going to be good. Okay, Jim Knowles knows how to coach. They have guys all over the field. Okay, they have guys like Arian Carter. They have guys on the D-line like David Hobbs. They got guys in the back end like Quay Moss, a Ty Redmond. They have guys in the backfield like a Deshaun Bishop and a Javen Gordon. And should I even talk about this receiving group with guys like Mike Matthews? Okay, Mike Matthews is one of the best playmaking wide receivers we have in the SEC. and he is available for whoever the quarterback is. Rodarius Jackson, too, as well. Rodarius Jackson, they're going to ask him to take that next step, be that true wide receiver, too. But you have a guy like Mike Matthews on the outside. You can make plays. You can give him the rock. You have a great OC in Joey Hazel, who I think is really good. You have a really good defensive coordinator in Jim Knowles at the end of the day. And whoever this quarterback is, whether it's George MacIntyre, whether it's Faizon Brandon, whether it's Ryan Stubb, got a guy like Josh Heupel, he's been successful at Tennessee. So I said a lot here. I said 7-5, 8-4 with this schedule is a win. There are a lot of unknowns at the quarterback position. I think that's very important. But 7-5, 8-4, you're building toward 2027. If you're Tennessee, you have enough ammo in that quarterback room, especially if this year goes by. It's a win season. You have some guys, you have some horses in the race that you're going to develop, and you expect them next year to take that next step. So we'll see what happens. But I like this Tennessee team. I think they're going to be a winning group. They're going to be a tough team. That defense is going to be really good. And hey, we'll see what happens. Keep liking, keep commenting, keep sharing. Love you guys. God bless. Peace.